All right, everyone. Well, thank you all for joining. My name is Carrie Eucness. I am the Senior Relationship Manager here at Alpha Staff. I also have Alicia Garcet on screen as well. She is our Business Development Manager. And we do have Marlene Gore, our Director of HR as well. She'll be jumping on in the next couple minutes. I just wanted to start with a few different things. One, we definitely want this to be very interactive. Please don't hesitate to ask questions on the chat feature. We'll definitely be reading those as we're going through things and be able to answer your questions live. We want this to be very interactive and be very educational. So please don't be shy. Please be interactive. We definitely appreciate it. So just a little bit about us. Alpha Staff is a HR outsourcing company. We're considered a PEO, a professional employers organization. And what that means is we handle everything from HR, payroll, workers' comp insurance, employee benefits, tax administration, everything in an all-in-one package. So you as the business owner can focus on your core business and growing your business and managing the day-to-day. We take on administration and compliance worry. So a big part of what we do is, again, HR focused. And a lot of our storage clients that are with us today rely on us for a lot of that HR support. Some of the things that we found, especially this year, that have been challenges for our storage clients have been around areas like recruiting, training, making sure that we're helping those owners really get their managers up to speed when it comes to managing employees. That's always been a big area of value for us that we offer to our clients, as well as workers' comp insurance, making sure that safety and loss control is under control and looking at all of the areas that we can help storage owners improve in workers' comp to reduce those claims and that risk. One thing that we wanted to talk to you all today is about the impact of COVID-19 on your businesses. Early this spring, we were all hit with this new circumstance of COVID and how that's affected not only our businesses, but how that's affected our clients, how that's affected our employees. So that's something that we wanted to touch on to be able to answer any questions that you have and the ways that we've helped our clients, and maybe some questions on that you've had as a storage owner. So we're just going to give one more moment for Marlene to jump in. I think you might have you might recognize her name. She was on one of the sessions yesterday as well. So again, if you have any questions that come to mind so far, please go ahead and put them in that chat feature and we'll be happy to kind of jot them down so we can address them as we talk through. Alicia, I don't know if you want to add anything as to kind of how COVID-19 has impacted clients and how we've helped them.
Yeah, this pandemic is certainly unprecedented in every market across the world, not only in the United States. We are very proud, though, to say that, not to speak badly of any of our competitors, however, our clients are extremely pleased with us, and we have raving fan emails come in every day that we never dropped the ball. We work 24/7 to assure that our clients had everything they needed to guarantee that they got their loans, the explanations of how to make it through this pandemic. Now, how even though we're spiking, our clients are slowly but surely bringing their employees back. And we are actually guiding them in how to be able to do that in the safest way to ensure that they have a safe work environment and that both clients and their employees are safe. With the spikes coming now, we feel that the first round of this pandemic was sufficient training for us, and we are more than assured that should there be a second round, we will be here for our clients again. And you can rest assured that we will have your back, because that is why we're here. We are a Florida company, but we are here for the entire country and all of our clients everywhere else.
Thank you, Alicia. Now, and I really do want to open that question up to everyone. What are some of the impacts that you've had on your business, and what are some of the questions that you've had as it relates to how we're moving forward in this new world since COVID-19. Does anybody have any questions that they wanted to, start off with? Please write those in the chat feature. A big one for us, while we're waiting for everybody to answer, a big one for us was, really, how do we return clients back to work? Something that our HR team really did was work with our clients to come up with a home return to work plan, and keeping in mind the CDC guidelines, keeping in mind what the different state requirements are. And that's something that we can also share an example of at the end of the session, if interested, what that return to work plan looks like, and how we kind of work through that challenge with our clients. So I don't see any questions coming through, but please everyone, don't be shy. I know that this has been a big topic on everyone's mind, so we're definitely here to help answer some of those questions and want this to be interactive. So please feel free to drop us a question.
We've also serviced our clients in small things that sometimes we don't think about, but we offer an EAP product, which is an employee assistance plan, which several of the clients' own employees have taken advantage of, because not only is this a difficult economic time, it's a very, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. People don't know if they're going to be able to return to their offices anytime soon, or what the scalability is going to be. Am I going to be there one day or another? Parents with their children, what are they going to do if there's no, the way that they're bringing the kids back to school in the fall? And a lot of them have taken advantage of our EAP plan, and they're calling because they're speaking to someone that's unbiased, that can kind of relax them and balance them, I guess, throughout a period of time where they feel that all they hear on the news is bad information. So we're not only here for the financial portion of helping our clients, but we're also here for, not to say emotional, but for the fluffy part as well, because we are that type of company that we're very nimble, and we want to assist you in every possible angle. And that means keeping your employees with a clear state of mind as well, which is very important for them to return to work.
We do have some questions coming through. All right, so one of the questions is, what are some of the changes you have seen specific to our storage clients, and what have they needed support with related to your expertise? I do think that, Alicia was just talking about that in regards to, some of the support on both the financial and the personal side of support. Again, those PPP loans, that was a big focus for us with our clients. As a company, we really shifted from handling all of these services, but as soon as COVID-19 hit, we really put all of our focus as a company, onto making sure that we worked with our clients in getting them all the reporting that was necessary to apply for those loans. We also took a lot of our internal employees and put them in different areas just to be able to support the timelines that we needed to get that information out. So I would definitely say from the financial side, that was a big focus for us, as well as, again, what we talked about a little bit earlier in working with our storage clients on when is it appropriate to bring people back into work, and how do we do that? How do we handle these specific questions that are going to come up and arise? So our HR managers that work with our storage clients, that's where a lot of their focus has been. It's been really helping educate those storage owners on all the questions that they have in returning employees back to work.
Let me interject, Carrie. It's actually a collaboration between our risk services and our HR managers. They, there's each one of them has teeth in it, because the portion of returning back to work in a safe environment also, especially when it comes to this industry, you need to make sure that the employees are going to be safe physically and health-wise. Another way that we've assisted not only this industry, but many of our clients is having our unemployment department work practically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The immense amount of claims that are being processed on behalf of our clients by a significant number, and that's provided a big relief for some of them, albeit not good news that they've had to furlough and terminate employees, but it's one less burden that they have on their shoulders that we've taken from them. And they know that they can sleep at night knowing that everything is being done properly. And again, we also did reach out to other departments and pull people to the unemployment department because of the amount of claims that have been coming through since the commencement of the pandemic.
Thank you, Lisa. That's a great point. Does anybody else have any other questions? We're still waiting for our HR director, Marlene Gore, to be able to join. I think she's having some technical difficulties, so bear with us in waiting for her to jump on and really be able to help answer some of the questions that you have. I think as a whole, one of the areas when it comes to storage in general, I know quite a few of our HR managers that are over or work with those storage clients. Some of the areas that they've just been able to help in general have, again, like I talked about earlier, it's all about working with their management teams at those storage locations and helping them educate on different HR topics. HR is really one of the biggest values that we bring to our clients, especially if you're multi-state, because there's different state laws. So for us to be able to help you with each one of those state laws and help educate your managers on how to handle different situations within that state, that's something that we've focused on tremendously with our storage clients. Another thing, again, has been compliance training on safety and harassment, as well as just overall training on employee relations, being able to provide feedback, documentation, and how to handle those situations.
In addition to the HR and collaborating with our technology and our Prism HR platform, they're merged together in that we have several clients and several of you are multi-state, and you may be running on different platforms. You may have benefits on one thing, payroll on another, workers' comp on another. This consolidates everything to ensure that all of your properties, all of your managers, all of your employees are literally on the same page. This really facilitates everything for you. You may not think of it as an HR component, but it is, because their HR information for the employee is housed within here, and the gatekeepers that are allowed to see everything are allowed to see everything across all your multi-state locations, and the employees themselves are able to access their own information. So this is one of the steps of the HR that we provide through HR technology, which does assist. And in times like this, it's good that everyone is on the same page and you're not having to send emails and copy each other to make sure that everybody's looking at the same spreadsheet. And that's proven to be successful throughout the course of this as well.
So everyone that's on the call, how have your businesses done throughout this pandemic? Have you had a lot of change when it comes to your employees and employee count? What are some of the questions that you have that maybe we can help answer? Please go ahead and write those questions in the chat feature. And again, if it's something we can answer today, we'll definitely address it right now during the breakout session. If not, it's something that we can always talk to you offline as well. So again, we're still we're having some technical problems having our HR specialist join. So bear with us. I apologize if we haven't been able to cover everything that we've wanted to. She should be joining momentarily. Okay. I'm also going to see if I can bring in Janice Carter-Ray. She has actually been a big part of our relationship for a long time and can speak to just the storage industry and really how we've been able to work together. Janice, thank you so much for joining and joining the discussion with us. Janice, I'm not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfect.
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm kind of curious, a couple questions. One, related to employment labor laws. Are you guys experiencing any litigation relative to COVID from employers?
Alicia, do you want me to take that one, or would you like to take it?
The question, go ahead.
Are relative to employment with employees during the COVID, have you guys seen any litigation relative to the COVID virus for the employers?
Actually, no. To my knowledge, Marlene would obviously be the best person to answer it, but to my knowledge, I have not heard of any litigation whatsoever. It's quite the contrary. I've heard a lot of compliments towards us that we've handled things so well with the clients that there have really, you've got some disgruntled employees, but that's, you can never make everybody happy. But we haven't heard of any litigation whatsoever.
So how, another question is, how are employers controlling the unemployment increases? The volume is obviously high with some of the changes that have happened. I know being in a PEO, that diversifies among all of the clients, so that's a great thing. But how are you guys handling, or the employers handling, any future increases related to unemployment?
Well, from what I have read, and again, it's changing every day, just like there's going to be a stimulus one day and there isn't another day. It's growing. But from what I understand, there is not going to be such a direct impact on the employers or the PEOs immediately. From what I understand, legislation is trying to figure out how not to affect the unemployment, because it's just kind of it's kind of like in the workers' comp world, it's a shock loss. So I don't, there's no real definitive answer. I know that they've been going back and forth. However, PEO, we know very well that your house under our we manage these claims so well, and we will go after anything that we do or just fraudulent in any way. We're going to be able to move those numbers favorably lower than what it would be if you were on your own and you had to furlough or lay off 15 employees. Eminently, eventually, it is going to hit you. We just don't know when, because nobody was prepared for this. So nobody really knows when the impact is going to hit the individual businesses. Us, however, we have a little bit because of the team that we have in place for our clients. And, there's always going to be a little bit ahead of the game when they're with the PEO because of our best practices when it comes to unemployment.
So relative to workers' comp and risk safety, are you seeing any pivots relative to losses and claims or risk in the workplace that have spiked the COVID virus?
So I can answer that one. Right now, we really haven't seen a spike in claims in regards to COVID-19. I don't think at this point in all of our worksite employees, we've had a claim come in yet. So I know it's something that is on our radar, and our risk department has been kind of trained to deal with, but we haven't had anything come through.
Relative to storage specifically, have you guys, from a workers' comp risk perspective, put any best practices in place for the storage industry to follow relative to COVID?
So I'm not sure, Denise. That's definitely something that I would want to take back offline and be able to get back to you on. I do know that, our risk and safety program, it is commonplace for us to go ahead and be proactive when something like this happens, and to be able to train those companies on how to deal with these situations. I'm not sure what we've done, in the last few months to put those practices in place, but it's something that I could definitely get back with you on.
Okay, great. I think you have a question that came in as well.
Okay, let's see. So the question is, do you think the storage industry will go back to pre-COVID staffing levels? And you know what, actually, Janice, I'm glad that you're on, because being part of the storage industry, I think this is really, I'd like to know your opinion on this.
I don't know if I have an answer or know the answer. I think there's going to be, relative to state specific, some pivots. My expectation is there will be some level of norm after the storming is over, but I think there's going to be not an increase in as many staff that we've seen out there. Everybody's trying to find automation, and it's at its highest peak of interest right now in technology. So I think that there's some solutions that are going to come out of that are more cost effective than having staff on site. So I think that's going to be a norm at some point. It's going to level off. That's my personal opinion in my 25 years of PEO experience and background on what's going on now. So that's what I think.
And I do agree with you, and especially I think during the show that has been a topic on automation and just changing the way that we do things as companies, especially in making sure that we're a little bit safer. But automation has been a big topic in storage for a long time. Moving towards online or kiosks, that has been something that's been a big discussion. So I do think that there will be a little bit of a change. Maybe COVID will, my professional opinion would be that COVID might have maybe pushed it more into a change more recently, or maybe a little bit quicker than we would have seen if we hadn't had COVID.
I would agree.
Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. Well, Janice, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. I know that you've had a lot of experience, in the storage industry as well as in the PEO industry. So I definitely appreciate your knowledge and your insight and jumping into the discussion with us.
Sure. Anything I can do to help. I'm going to leave and jump in on the chat now.
All right, great. So it looks like we did have some technical difficulties in having Marlene join the discussion. She really is the expert in all things HR, as she is the director of our HR department here at Alpha Staff. So if there's any questions that you had that we were not able to answer, or we didn't cover, or didn't come up, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, either through the people section in the chat feature. You can stop by our booth, or just go ahead and request more information. We're definitely happy to talk offline and speak to any questions that we weren't able to cover. And I apologize for any technical problems and not being able to have everyone join. So I appreciate you all sticking through it with us, though.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, Marlene. So anybody that's still on, we apologize. Marlene is our star of the show, and we, like I said, had some technical difficulties. So I'm so glad that I know we just have a few minutes left, but Marlene, some of the topics that we tried to cover were in regards to how COVID-19 really impacted our storage clients. We did talk a little bit about what Alpha Staff, how we've assisted our clients just in general, but we really wanted to discuss some of the specific ways that we've helped during this pandemic, as well as answer any questions that anyone had in regards to how we've handled specific situations, some of the things that we've done when it comes to COVID and how it's affected businesses. So I don't know if you want to kind of give a little bit of background and color on, some of the ways that we've helped our clients in regards to education and dealing with their employees, as well as the financial aspect.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody. And I'm so sorry I had technical difficulties earlier. I'll try to give some information based on the topics that you guys have been talking about. Some of the areas where we have been able to help our clients out with are, where this started is the unknown of COVID-19, right? How to deal with your employees to begin with, if you had to furlough them. Number one is remote employees, right? So what did you have to worry about when they started to go remote, from a cybersecurity perspective, from understanding if you did have to go ahead and lay off some of your employees, or if you chose to go ahead and do furlough, how to code them correctly. Then the CARES Act came into play, where you were able to see that EFMLA came into play, as well as sick pay. So all of those unknown waters and territories that we dealt with earlier when COVID first hit, those were type of the conversations that we were having with our clients to help them understand what legal ramifications they may be having to work with in regards to how to treat their employees, and also how to navigate through the remote employees, what to be able to provide them with. If it was an hourly employee, how would you treat that employee moving forward, right? Is there hours of operations that you needed them to work under? From a wage and hour perspective, understanding that they were clocking in and clocking out at the right time. After that, we kind of talked about reports. Obviously, many of our clients had the PPP loans that they were applying for. That was all really, really fast, that they needed to do it within 24 hours. We were able to provide our clients with reports to make sure that they got their PPP loans right away. Those reports, obviously, depending on the loan that they were having, each of our clients had different loans that they were applying for, and we were able to provide them with those reports as soon as possible. From there, day in and day out of COVID, I would probably say, whether you were already a master at working remote, or you were looking to bring your employees back, maybe it was 15% or so, how to document the information and the things that you were working through. So we work day in, day out with our clients to make sure that they were using the documentation and the proper ways of handling their employees through this navigation, and then also paying them correctly. As you all are aware of, or may not be aware of, is during the period of time that they had EFMLA as well as sick pay, they were had to pay 80 hours. And then obviously, based on the reasons for being on EFMLA or sick pay, they also had reasons behind it. So making sure that those reasons were adequate, and also documenting that information. As we continue to bring our employees back, is really navigating through unemployment claims. I know the state of Florida had a long haul of just issues with unemployment, and making sure that we were working together with our clients as well as the states, understanding the claims that we were getting, the massive amount of claims that they were getting, and also reporting back to them as soon as possible. So I know that I've said a lot, and I don't know if by any chance there's additional questions on things that you guys may have talked to with Carrie or Alicia that I can answer. I don't know that you have anybody left, Carrie. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It looks like there's about 12 people that are still on. Again, guys, this is, your chance to ask any questions that you have. Marlene did cover a lot, but we'd love to be able to answer anything specific and hear more a little bit about how COVID has affected your business and talk a little bit about, talk through about some of the questions that you could have. Marlene, one of the questions was, and this is something that Janice had jumped in as well, and one of the questions was, do you think the storage industry will go back to pre-COVID staffing levels? Both Janice and I had answered, you know, maybe not. Not only due to COVID, but also due to the fact that there has been a lot of automation put in place in the storage industry as a whole. I'd like to get your opinion on that as well.
Yeah, so I know during our panel discussion yesterday, we actually had a couple of operators as well as managers of different storage organizations and third party. So one of the things that we did hear from them is they didn't have a lot of furlough employees. I do believe that they'll come back to, you know, some operators did say that they were even hiring during this period of time. So I do believe that they'll come back to the same staffing that they had before. I also believe that it's going to be different, right? It's going to be a little bit more of the virtual interactions instead of at the site. So based on what we know from our clients and what I've heard so far is I do believe that they'll come back to the same amount of employees that they used to have, maybe even more, but it's going to be a different way of interacting with them. So it's going to be a lot more virtual, which in my opinion, I do believe that, you know, operators are going to have to start looking at cybersecurity a lot more than what we had before, in understanding and making sure that they are utilizing the best practices as they're hiring those employees from an EEO1 perspective, making sure that they're giving everybody the opportunity that they have. Even though it's virtually, it's also, you know, we still have the same compliance issues that we had before.
Great.
So I don't know if I can answer some of the questions.
Another question that had come in was, is there anything that we are doing from a safety and loss control perspective to help train our storage clients in regards to COVID-19?
Yeah, it's really what we have been able to do is we have provided our clients with a checklist on how to bring employees back based on the workers' comp litigations that we may be seeing. Not today, but I definitely can assume that we will be starting to see some of these litigations coming through. We have been able to provide them with a checklist. And those type of checklists will provide you with testing if it needs to be done, right? That's really depending on you and your organization. Different equipment that they would be able to utilize. And then as well as how to go about bringing employees back, right? If you are at 10%, if you're at 15%, what does the CDC guidelines look like? In your organizations, what does that look like if you have 10 employees or you have 2 employees, right? 50%, you can only bring 1 back. And how do you continue to employ the rest of them, but maybe in a remote environment?
Great, thank you, Marlene. I'm just we'll just take a couple more minutes just to see if anybody else has any questions. All right, we do, I know that there are a few requests for some information to be sent out to a couple of the attendees. If you want more information, please do just reach out to us either through that people, the people section of the chat. We would love to be able to get your name and your email addresses so we can send you, any information that you need.
Absolutely. Carrie, I know one of the things that I don't know if you guys spoke about this, it's the unemployment claims management. Just to, make sure that everybody understands different states have different regulations. And so one of the things that we did talk about yesterday during our panel discussion was understand your state and understand how the claims are coming through. And not only that, but how to document when you are offering employment back, how to document your information, how to update your unemployment claims. Because at the end of the day, that's your pseudo management. And so you may not look at that on a daily basis, But you know, some suggestions that I do have for you is to make sure that you're looking at every employee, because at the end of the day, it is your claims management that are going to get you to where you need to do something about your student management side of the house, or if not, it's going to take over your percentages of how much you're going to be paying. So I always would say, please, you know, understand that that's going to be something that you need help with. You know, we're happy to help you here at Alpha Staff, but definitely when you're looking at it, make sure that you're working with your local authorities, and then also making sure that you are updating your employees with the regulations that they may need, given the forms that they're required. Every jurisdiction is different as well. So just make sure that you know your state.
Thank you so much, Marlene. I'm so glad that we were able to go over some of the questions with you, and I know that we've gone over our time, but I definitely appreciate everyone that stayed on. Again, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We also have a booth, so we'll be popping back over to the booth now. But thank you again, and Marlene, thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping on and being able to help answer some of the questions.
You're welcome, Carrie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.